Hiya. I thought I'd come down here today, this morning, and just share with you some of what I've been hearing from people while I've been out talking to residents. And there are a lot of things that haven't been discussed in the hustings. The hustings have been mainly focused on the ferries, which we all know needs to change, the NHS, dentists, those kind of things, but realistically there's a lot more that needs to be done. So when out talking to people in Sandown, we all know, if you don't live here, if you've driven through, you know that there's a lot of derelict buildings, there's a lot of work, a lot of money that needs to be spent, a lot of work that needs to be done, but the bare bones of the town, it's beautiful in Sandown, absolutely beautiful. How many other places have you got a bay like this? Have you got a pier? Have you got all of the nice little shops? And it is lovely. It's just been left to fend for itself and it needs more love. Now, places like Ryde end up with lots and lots of funding. That's partly because they've got basically a little office set up, and all they do is apply for funding. Now, if they've got the knowledge and the expertise, we need to share that around and make sure that other towns on the island, all over the island, not just, I know I'm standing for Isle of Wight East, but all over, need to make sure that we know how to apply for this money and that we get it. Then when we do get it, obviously we need to make sure, sorry, there's another dog, make sure that they spend it wisely. You've got something set up at the moment in Ryde that you can get involved with to make sure that the money is spent how you want to see it spent. But we don't get very slippery pavement slabs and that need to then be ground out to make sure people don't slip on them and all that kind of thing. We make sure we don't buy a train that doesn't fit on the platform, and make sure we don't buy a chain ferry that can't use the infrastructure that's already there. These things, we need ordinary people to make more of an impact and have more of a say on what's going on. Now, in Sandown in particular, I think the planning, the people, we've got some buildings that are owned by people that obviously they're not going to invest in them unless they can make some money. And I think we're terrified of people actually building something that looks horrible. Now, you can put some kind of restriction on to make sure that they look like a nice old Victorian building, but no one's going to spend the money that's needed to get them back up to livable conditions unless they can make some profit out of it. Now, I think we could put some kind of stipulation on that 50% is still holiday accommodation, Airbnb, and 50% as small residential units, because we need more residential units here. I'm just going to keep walking because this dog is throwing a ball right next to me, and it's making my dogs want to go, and I've got them on the lead at the moment, so I'm just going to go this way. So people need to be able to make a bit of a profit, and I think unless we really wake up and realise that nobody's going to want to borrow, no one's going to want to borrow in this climate where the interest rates are so high. Anybody that's got money wants to get a decent return on it. So we need to have a fresh approach to the planning in this area, especially now, to encourage other outside investors to come in. I think we've hit on a brilliant idea. I was speaking to a gentleman that's part of the sailing club. Now, this bay here, this bay is a natural wonder, really. There's not many places in the world where a bay like this actually exists. It's perfect for sailing, for races. Now, we could actually be internationally known, like Cowes Week is, for having sailing races in Sandown. It wouldn't take that much to encourage people to come in here and invest, because we've got the buildings, we've got the space, we've got a beautiful, beautiful area to be in. And I think we need people with new ideas and to listen to the people that live there. So that's what Reform are doing. All I've been doing is speaking to people about what they need and what they need to happen on the island. One of the other issues that I've come across is I was speaking to a lady that's a full-time carer for her son, and she's in her 80s, and she's very concerned that even though he's got the finances to be able to stay in his own home, there's no one really going to be able to advocate for him when she's gone. Now, societies have crumbled. Our communities have kind of disappeared. Years ago, someone took him under their wing and made sure that he was going to be okay. We've lost all of our help centres, or you have to make appointments for them days in advance. The post offices have disappeared. I used to help people out with if they had a letter through and they didn't quite understand it. I used to help people. But we've lost all of those things from our communities, and we need to put them back. So something I definitely look to do is try and have some kind of, I know we've got Ride Help Centre and that kind of thing. They feel very official and very detached, and I think we need more of a community approach. Maybe within churches and that kind of thing. I know Elim Pentecostal Church really are helping in their community, and I love that. I think they're brilliant. They're a lot of energy, and I'd love to help as much as I can should I be elected. And even if I'm not, I'm going to go down the route of still trying. I'm going to try and get elected to council and put these kind of things back in. There's another situation in Wootton where there's somebody that they're trying to obtain planning permission to take out gravel from the site just at the end of Palmer's Road, and they're going to be wanting to take massive lorries up to 4 times a day, 4 times an hour, 50 times a day, out backwards and forwards down that road onto the main road, then down into Newport and round. Now, I've been speaking to the people that are there, and I just don't understand why they can't take out across his land off onto the main road, out through his land a different way. Apparently there's a bridge down that way, so that's not necessarily possible. If there was enough money to be made out of this gravel, then surely reinforcing that bridge or putting a new road in or a temporary road in would be worthwhile. And if it's not, then perhaps there's not enough money there to be made out of the gravel to make it worthwhile. I understand that the site has got planning permission for houses and selling bits and pieces off anyway, and we have just got to listen to these communities. If there are other places on the island that gravel could be extracted from, if there are other places that make more sense financially, then why put, especially this school locally has, they're very concerned about the kids with the dust from the site, and I know they've tried to say that you don't get silicosis and all that kind of thing, but we've seen with other scandals that have happened in the last few years, like the blood scandal, that these things, they might not think that they're going to happen at the time, and we hope that they don't. But in 30 years' time, we'll be looking at a situation where all of these children have actually got COPD or something. And I think for the council to be overly cautious and risk averse with Leeson Road and not opening that, why are they happy to possibly put children at risk with the dust from this site? We just need people that are prepared to listen and put forward alternative ideas and actually just make sure that what goes on is in the best of everybody, not the few. I know a few people, like with my plan for Sandown, a few people would make a bit of money out of it, but actually it's in the benefit of the whole town to let that happen, because those buildings, people come to Sandown and they walk around and they go, I'm not coming back here. It's terrible. It's not like it was when I was a kid. It's beautiful. If you don't look at those buildings when they're behind you, you don't. It's a lovely town. But, so I thought I'd come on today and just make sure that I am listening to what's going on around. You've got either flooding down the Strand. We need to make sure we push the Environment Agency on that. That what went on that day is absolutely ridiculous. But there are things going on everywhere. It's probably a good job we'll end up with 2 MPs because they're going to have a lot of work to do. We need something new. We need something different. We need people that are actually willing to put the work in and listen and do the right thing. But, well, you never know. If you think that's me, go out on 4th of July and vote Reform. East White, Sarah Morris. Thank you.